Hello you, it's my yard here, and it's time to rant! But in a constructive and perfectly unbiased way, because I've played WWE 2K22 now for 3 months, and I've played a fair bit of it online, and I will say with clear conscience that 2K19 is the better game, and here's why. Because we've got 10 days left at the time of recording before 2K19 servers go down, and I will be making a stream or videos about its demise alongside 2K20. We're not going to talk about 2K20, but 2K19 nonetheless. Now, playing 22 is a vast improvement from 20, there's no question about that, but there is fundamental flaws in the gameplay, stuff that I was thinking about before the game came out. I made videos talking about the stun meter, which I think, going from playing it on TNA Impact, having the stun meter, having unblockable for a certain length of time was never going to be a good idea, and it's not a good idea. So how do you fix this and other little issues that actually become big issues and change the core fundamentals of the game? Changing them so much that you wouldn't be able to call it 2K22 anymore, because it'd be such a stark contrast between itself and its launch build. So, the stun meter. If you keep the stun meter in play, okay, so it's still unlimited reversals, then the stun meter needs to keep a timer. Yes, absolutely. But it has to deactivate after one move has been done. Instead of getting spammed full of strikes, which is constant and ongoing, it should only count for one move, which is fine if it's teammates doing finishers to finishers like this. You know, stomp into Macho Man elbow, perfectly good. That's acceptable in my opinion. Go straight into pinfall. I use resiliency, I kick out. The downside is, we'll talk about button bash in a second, this could be fixed in the patches. If you kick out of pinfall, it should be an instant kick out for the pinfall after. Unless another move has been done to you, it should be an automatic kick out. It was certainly a much easier kick out in 2K19 and 20 using the alternate pinfall. Anyway, sidetracking, the stun bar. Having it stunned means just people just spam strikes again and again and again to build up a finisher, and when they're about to run out of stun, they hit their finisher, and the finisher then triggers an automatic stun, so therefore they can loop. So someone with 3 finishers can realistically actually hit 4, maybe even 5 finishers in the time frame. It's boring to watch, it's boring to play with, it's boring to play against, because it's common as muck and just keeps happening again and again and again and again, and it's boring. It really takes you out of the moment. The second big thing is the counters. Because we now have no limited counters compared to 19 and 20, where you had up to 5 reversible counters. Did move reversal, you'd be losing 2 of those counters, but you made the opponent have a minus, and they can reverse for a certain period of time. Having a minus is completely different to being stunned, because you could still do moves, you can still be offensively, and you could use abilities to get yourself out of a minus, such as a nip up, a possum, doing the strikers one, which I've forgotten the name of. Though there were certain ways to get yourself out. It was a slightly more tactical game. Anyhow, every move in the online play, I will say 95% of people will do the same moves that are irreversible. So if they can activate it from the grapple position, they will just do that move. So Riddle had that little power slam there, I believe doesn't have a mid-move reversal. Roman Reigns has like 2 in the strong grapple, and I think he's got 1 in the light grapple, and you could just reverse it, because as long as you know you've got a 50-50 chance, a 1 in 3 chance actually, because you've got the Irish whip, and a lot of people just reverse with the circle button when you get put into a grapple. They don't care about the square and the X, because they know they have a chance of doing a mid-move reversal from it. I understand the strategy behind it, but in my opinion it's sort of a psychological game on a game that should just be quick and easy to pick up and play. I think it's too complicated for what it's worth. So you either have 1 or 2 options. Either 1, you give every single move a mid-move option, which is doable for the vast majority of stuff. You can't really do it with strikes, but certainly any grapple animation could have the initial setup and then in a position for it. It would take a lot of coding, don't get me wrong, but it would make people less inclined to bait all the time on it. Because on the ground grapple, it is a 1 in 3 chance you're going to reverse that move. Either you're pressing square, you're pressing X, or you're pressing circle when you are lying on the mat to hopefully reverse their counter. It doesn't feel like you're doing it a lot of the time because of that 1 in 3 chance. It just feels very tepid and boring, and I don't think it expands on it. And if you get in a 2-on-1 situation like Sami Zayn is here, having unlimited reversals helps, but with that stun mechanic, you're very likely with the strikes to get stunned very, very quickly. Yep, your partner can come and help you, and they can help clear the advantage. That does happen a good amount of time, but certainly in a handicap situation, you don't stand a chance. Handicap matches are basically impossible, just impossible. And one of those reasons is, not to mention strike, getting up very, very quickly. We have 3 ability counters. Now you need 2 to resiliency, you need 3 to perform a signature. Why the auto get up is only 1 of those bars, same for the possum, same for ring escape. Why it's only 1 boggles the mind, because it actually makes it way too easy to get up from everything. You can use this is when you are stunned and get hit with a finisher. You can use it to instantly get yourself up if you were stunned and the stun bar goes away by then, which I think again is a little bit of a drawback on it. Don't think that's the right way about it. That's just my honest opinion on it. I think you could change it in 2K22 to be a patch to be 2 bars and trial it like that instead of the 1 bar. I think though, the system overall with the bars is just limited. I think the 19 system are having a minor thing and a major thing, despite 95% of people choosing the same 2 abilities all the time. Resiliency having an auto kick out has always been, really, did we really need an auto kick out? It always felt out of place. Thankfully it's one-time use in this version, which does help its matters, but I would like to be able to do multiple different things if I could. Pinfalls and submissions, let's go back to that. Pinfalls and submissions are both button bashing, and they are the bane of my existence of all, especially submissions, of course. Pinfalls, pre-patch, were very easy. Like, pretty much you need to spend 45 minutes non-stop to kick someone to be unkickable. And even then, if they were really good at kicking out button bashing, it made it near enough pointless. Whereas submissions, on the other hand, are pretty much easy peasy winning squeezy. One of the reasons I would say, a small reason, is because of latency. Whoever's the host is going to have advantage on the tapping buttons. On a pinfall, it doesn't matter so much because it's only the one person battling against the AI effectively to tell you how many button bashes you need to do in a certain quick period of time. Submissions though and pinfall should be defaulted to the original method. That's not, I can't see happening online, because you're then, like I've said before, changing the fundamental playing of the game defaultly. But certainly online, it should be the wheel, ka-ching, and it should be the wheel for the submission as well. Timed events make far more sense, and they weren't facilitated by lag on the pinfalls. Submissions, yes, arguably were affected online by the wheel, but I feel like it was much easier of a chance to not die straight away if it was the wheel. It's pretty much an instant win for the opponent if they get you in a submission when you're on low on health. Just instantly. Doesn't matter about your body damage. Just instantly dead. Dead as a doornail on it. So there's plenty of things that they could try and sort out and fix. And overall, they have made loads of work. People have been complaining. I know about other things. I'm just wanting to talk about the online. I know how loadings on PC times are atrocious for created content. Some people reported 6 to 8 minutes sometimes to load up a created content match, which is insane. That's an optimization issue, which I can't see being patched. I think that would have to be added into the next title again on it. They'll be focusing on, I assume, 2K23 already at this point, and that would be my core sentiment, because we've got, what, 2 more DLC packs, and then we are basically no more new content, theoretically, unless they announce something surprisingly, which would be cool. We've had some surprises before, like the NXT 2.0 arena as well, so good things have happened from this build this year, compared to what we've seen in previous years. And don't get me wrong, we're always striving to see the perfection of a game, and I don't think 2K22 is this. I'm not having as much fun with 22 as I did with 19. I'm still playing it online, I'm still having fun with random people from time to time, but it's certainly nowhere near as good as what 19 came up with, unfortunately. So to sum up, the major things that need to be addressed for future titles: pinfalls, submissions, default them back to originals. They were the fairest method. I understand for a new player perspective that the button bashing would be an option, but then you say that in the tutorials that you can make this easier for people by choosing this option. Make the stun bar one move only. One move. Okay? That might cause issues if you're trying to do corner moves and sort of things to try and whip them into that position. But I feel like you don't count Irish whips, and you don't count setup moves into top turnbuckles and stuff. I think that's the fairest way. I think that would work from a balanced perspective. You want the option bars, the ability bars, to be made a bit harder to either count up to get to 3 or increase them so the abilities have to cost 2 or even the 3, just like the signatures themselves. That might come and make things a bit straightforward as well, and maybe slow things down a bit and stop everyone getting up every half a second on every single move or option. Have you got any thoughts on any major things? Please let me know in the comment section below. I know I've been drifting and waffling along as I normally do, but I do feel like my point needs to be addressed on it, because I've been sort of keeping myself quiet as we've been wanting to get as much time on 2K22 to give my honest thoughts and feedback on the game. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Take it easy. Bye bye.